Hey guys, welcome to Team Kaio-ken. I'm Alex, and today we're going to be doing the yellow Frieza deck list. Now this Frieza is really powerful. His effect is once per turn during your main phase. You can KO one of your Frieza army cards in your battle area and untap one of your energies and draw one card. So this can be highly effective at any point in the game because it gives you more usable
options.
Yeah, options. Sorry. So the first card I want to talk about is probably the one I see the least in deck profiles, which is Sorbet. Now, Sorbet is a 1-cost, 1,000 attack blocker. But not only that, Sorbet has an effect that lets you add the top 2 cards from your deck into your combo area for free. So Sorbet can turn into a turn 1 1,000 attacker into a turn 1 21,000 attacker. And he's a blocker. So Sorbet is, in my opinion, one of the highly underrated cards for Frieza Army, so we play 3 of these. The next card I want to talk to you guys about is Avenging Frieza. Now, Avenging Frieza lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, pick one Frieza Army card among them, and add that card to your hand. This can be extremely effective at any point in the game for grabbing cards like Sorbets or your blockers, which we'll get to in a minute. Now, because Avenging Frieza is so good, we play 4 of them. Because some of the Friezas in this game have evolved chains. Next card I want to talk about is Cold Bloodlust. Cold Bloodlust is a good tech at 1, because it can negate those really big, super rare cards that you find in some of the decks in your local comic shop or wherever you currently play the super card game. It's a counter, and it negates the effect of all the battle card that it counters, but it doesn't rest him, so it can be a make or break situation. So you only play 1 Cold Bloodlust, and that's for emergency situations. Next, we're going to talk about Bad Laser Ring. Bad Laser Ring is a great card because he can counter other counters. So what you do is you would pay 1 energy for Laser Ring's cost. You can discard a yellow card from your hand and negate the counter that your opponent has just played. Now, Bad Laser Ring is good, yes, because it can negate counters, but you only play it at 2 because it can be very, very ineffective later game when you have nothing in your hand but a Bad Laser Ring and no blockers. The next card is probably the most recognizable and probably the most used card in the Frieza deck, and that's Frieza's Call. Frieza's Call lets you pick any Frieza Army card in your deck with an energy cost of 2 or less and put that card into your battle area rested. Now, this card is highly effective because, like we said, this Frieza gives you the ability to tribute cards into getting untapped mana and a card in your hand. And if you notice, when we flip Frieza over, when you tribute one of those cards, it goes from untapping 1 energy and drawing a card to untapping 2 energies and draws a card, which is what makes Frieza's Call so strong. So you play 3 Frieza Call, or 4, it's honestly a choice. And now we get to probably the most used counter card for Frieza. That would be Crusher Ball. Crusher Ball is a counter card. It says counter play. The battle card that was just played now comes onto the battle area rested. So it stops those big, big moments when your opponent is setting up to attack you with something new and something big. Crusher Ball makes them wait a full turn before they can attack with it. So you play 4 Crusher Ball, and that takes care of our 1-drops. Now, you're probably wondering why are there so many 1-drops from Frieza and why are all of them extra cards? Well, that's because Frieza plays a lot of 2-drops and no 3-drops unless you're playing the Ginyu Force build. This version of Frieza also doesn't have any 5-drops because we're not playing Ginyu Force. So next we're going to go over Sui. Sui is just one of those 1500 attackers. There's not much to him. And then we're also running one more 1500 vanilla attacker, and that would be a Pool. So we're playing 4 a Pool, 4 Sui. Next is a card everyone wants to talk about, and they're these. This is Dodoira. Dodoira is the yellow card. You'll notice that some of the cards in the game have +0 to their combo effects. That's because if your life is at 4 or less, this card gains plus 10,000 to the combo, and it lets you draw a card. So these are the cards that can make or break your either offense or defense while fighting your opponent. These cards are staples in every deck. You should play 4 of these in every deck. So obviously we play 4 dodoira, and then we keep moving down our 2-drop line. Next we play 1 recoome, who is a 10,000 attacker on your turn and a 16,000 defender on your opponent's. And you play 1 birder. Birder is a cool card because when you use Frieza's call to summon him, he readies himself at the end of turn. Alright, and last but not least, Kui.
Yes.
Kui is a blocker, and for 2 yellow energy, he's got 12,000 attack power. So Kui is probably one of the most underrated blockers in the game. We play Kui at 3 here. Now, skipping over 3s, because like we said, their main 3 drops are vanillas or cards for Ginyu. We're going to go into the yellow attack negation card, known as Recoome's Eraser Gun. Recoome's Eraser Gun is a counterattack card, but unlike others, it costs 4. It says, if your leader card is yellow, negate the attack, and then your opponent's battle cards can no longer declare attacks for the rest of the turn. So basically, once you play Eraser Gun, your opponent can't attack anymore for that turn. So if you have 4 mana open on a Frieza deck, what you're going to want to do is play Eraser Gun on their first attack, and that's going to completely stop them for the rest of the turn. So you play 3 Eraser Gun, because even though it negates the rest of the attack phase, it still costs 4.
Yeah, it's an insanely amount of mana that you could use for other things.
Alright, next you have Shisami. Shisami is a 4-drop. He's 15,000 attack. He's got double strike, so he hits for 2 damage. But when you play him, you get to choose 2 of your opponent's rested battle cards, and they don't ready or active during your opponent's next phase. So you play 3 Shisami. Alright, now let's get to one of the more staple cards for this Frieza deck. I want to go into King Cold, guys. Now, King Cold is a 4-drop that has both double strike and revenge, which means if he's attacked, the card that attacks him dies. And this card says, counter battle card attack. Place this card from your opponent's hand, or from your hand, onto the field, and change the attack target to this card. So when your opponent attacks you, you can play one of these King Colds, and it'll switch the attack from the card that they are attacking, your leader, or another important battle card you're playing, and it will stop that attack and redirect it at King Cold, which will automatically kill your opponent's card due to his revenge effect. Alright, next we play 1 Frieza, Hellish Terror, because it's an evolved Frieza with double strike, and it's a good card. It's not as powerful as Mecha Frieza, which we will get to here in a minute. And of course, the minute is now. This is Mecha Frieza. This is probably the most important 4-drop in the Frieza deck. For the number 1 fact of it has dual attack at 15,000 power, and when you play him, you can discard 1 yellow card from your hand. And when you do that, you can choose up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters and KO them. So, just by paying 4 and discarding a card, you can blow up 2 of your opponent's battle cards. So you obviously play 4. Alright, so now we're on to the high drops for this deck. There are 4 cards left, and the first one is Full Powered Frieza, or as we like to call him, the Info Blocker. This card is pretty great. It's a 25,000 power with triple strike and blocker. But his auto effect is what makes him great. When you activate this card's blocker effect, switch this card to active mode after the battle. What that means is once you block, if this Frieza survives the fight, he readies himself so that he can block again. So an infinite amount of blocks as long as he's not killed. Hence the name Info Blocker. Alright, and last, but definitely not least, Golden Frieza, Resurrected Terror. This evolves from any Frieza in your deck, and it says it has triple strike. It says when a card evolves into this card, place all rest mode battle cards, except for this card, into the drop area. Then choose all active mode battle cards and rest them. So what that means is anything that's already rested on the field when you evolve into this Frieza goes into the drop zone. And then everything that's not rested becomes rested. This Frieza can make or break a game for you. So be very careful when you use it. So this is our deck list for the Frieza Mono Yellow deck. We only have one set right now, and as sets continue to come out, we will continue to bring more deck lists to you. I'm Alex from Team Kaio-ken. Have a great day. Yeah.